Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new Destiny video. Now in today's video I'm actually doing something a little bit different because it's been quite some time since I've done this video. I did this video right before the Taken King came out, everything that I've collected in 1 year of Destiny. So today we are back to show you guys everything that I've collected in 2 years of Destiny. I haven't exactly collected everything, but I do have quite a bit of weapons that a lot of people may or may not know about, with some pretty cool rolls on them as well. Now my vault is pretty much full, so I will have to go between a couple of characters to show you guys some additional weapons. But without further ado, let's get into my vault. Now I'm not going to stop on every weapon, I'm sure you guys have seen a good majority of these, but I'm going to highlight some of my favorites and some of the year ones that people may not know about. So first off, we do have the Summoner Adept. Now the only thing about these Adept weapons back in year 1 is the fact that they actually have elemental burns on them. As you can see, I've got Arc. Now that was the greatest thing about going flawless in year 1, is that you can actually get archetypes on all of your weapons and on all the Adept versions of the weapons. You didn't just get a black weapon that was no real different than the original. You actually got something through going flawless, and I really do hope they bring this back in the Rise of Iron. I do definitely miss going flawless for the guns and actually getting something worthwhile, and it was really cool to use them in PvE, and it really helped for a lot of the Nightfalls, because you could go get flawless, get your Adept version, and then you would actually have an elemental burn on it, which could help you later on. Next up, we've got the Murmur. Now this was from the Protoss End DLC, and the only real crazy thing about this is the fact that it switches between 2 different elemental types. We've got Solar and Arc, and if you look closely, it looks quite similar to the Necrochasm, which is pretty cool because it's actually a fusion rifle. We've got Fang of Ute and Oversoul's Edict, both from the raid back in year 1. Another year 1 Adept weapon, the Jewel, the Scholar, another Summoner, and another Scholar. I do collect a lot of those year 1 Trials of Osiris weapons. Another Scholar with another type of burn on it. We got all 3 of them. We got the Solar, the Void, and the Arc version. Now we've got the Vision of Confluence, one of the best scout rifles in the game, at least in year 1. Full auto, perfect balance, the best scout rifle to use, especially in the Vaulted class. That's where you get it, and it was one of the best weapons to use back in the day. We've also got Fatebringer, which is quite incredible. I did a video on this not too long ago, and it's pretty ridiculous, even still to this day, with Firefly, explosive rounds, and a lot of just ridiculous perks, Outlaw. And that thing is still good, even to this day. The impact is quite damn good on it, and it's still a pretty good force to be reckoned with. Then we've got the year 1 Simulator's Wrath. I'm sure that'll come back in the Rise of Iron. That's a year 1 Iron Banner weapon. And we have the Covalent's Duty. This is kind of like my mini Jade Rabbit. I kept this around just so that I would have a legendary scout rifle, and I didn't have to take up the exotic spot that was quite similar to the Jade Rabbit. We've got custom optics, Feather Mag, Hidden Hand, explosive rounds, and Zen Moment, and it is actually pretty good, and it holds up its own quite well. It's not exactly as good as the Jade Rabbit, but it's pretty up there, especially for being a legendary. Now we've got one of my year 1 sniper rifles. Now there were only 3 snipers that I ever used in year 1, at least really a good majority of the time. These are the 3 weapons I learned to snipe with: the low grade, the Her Benevolence, and the Subtle Nudge. Those were the only 3 sniper rifles that I really ever used in year 1, and that's how I learned to snipe back in the day. Now we also have the Red Hand IX. This is an incredible gun, even still to this day. We've got explosive rounds, hot swap, which is quite nice on a hand cannon because of how often you have to switch between your guns. I switch between my sniper and my hand cannon quite often. We've got explosive rounds, hot swap, and luck in the chamber on this thing. And even still to this day, so long as you're in a year 1 playlist, that thing is still pretty insane. We've got a Mongol loop. The rolls on it aren't all that great. I never really use it at all. And we've got this Gunsmith hand cannon here that I've got. Now the only real reason this is so amazing is because it only has a magazine of 5 bullets, and it has luck in the chamber. So the chances of you getting a lucky shot are actually quite low, and it's really easy to get that lucky shot as one of your first or second shots, which is always great because it kills people really fast when that happens, and it almost happens basically every single clip, which is why I kept this thing around in my vault. So next up, we've got the Coiled Hiss 1919. This thing is incredible even now. Look at all the perks that are on here, even though it's just a legendary. We've got Red Dot, Rangefinder, upgraded damage, perfect balance, Third Eye, Snapshot, flared magwell, and a bunch of just damage upgrades. But the fact that it has Third Eye, perfect balance, and Rangefinder all in the same gun, it's pretty insane. Even still to this day, the impact is extremely low, so it doesn't really stagger anybody, but the damage output on this thing and the stability are still up there. So I definitely had to keep that around, and I still use it sometimes because it's just so damn good. And next up, we've got the Deal Breaker, which is kind of like my mini Fabian strategy with Rifled Barrel, Rangefinder, and Crowd Control. It's not exactly all that great, but it does keep up pretty well for an auto rifle that's just a legendary. I've seen it beat out a couple exotics back in the day before the buffs, but I can't really speak for anything right now because of all the buffs that just happened. Now next up, we've got the Reflection Sun Adept. I'm sure you guys have seen that before, but I do have the Adept version on pretty much every weapon: Water Star, you know, Reflection Sum, and of course the Doctrine of Passing. Now we do have a couple Year 1 weapons here from the Prison of Elders. We got Her Right Hand, which is a pretty damn crazy roll, Hidden Hand, Rifled Barrel, and Crowd Control on there, which is pretty damn useful, so long as the light advantages aren't there. We've got a Water Star Adept here, as well as another Covalance's Duty. This one's just got Hidden Hand, Explosive Rounds, and Life Support. It's not really anywhere near the Modern Multitool, believe me, it's really not. I just had to keep it around because I like the rolls on it. So we also have the Her Benevolence. Now the only reason I gotta stop on this is because, well, one, this is definitely one of the best snipers in Year 1, although my rolls aren't best on it. This is more of a PvE version with triple tap. But there's also this perk here called Shoot to Loot. I really do hope this makes its return in the Rise of Iron. This was actually quite useful in raids and PvE, especially in Prison of Elders. You just shoot ammo and pick it up. You don't even have to leave your cover. And if you're somewhere camping for a raid in a safe spot or something like that, you just shoot the ammo, pick it up, and you're just good to go. I really do hope that makes its return in the Rise of Iron. I have not seen that on a single sniper since the Taken King has come out. And I definitely do miss having that perk on my snipers when I'm trying to do the Nightfalls and other type of PvE activities. That was definitely really fun, just shooting the ammo to pick it up. So we also do have the Matador 64, and you can't really play Year 1 without getting one of these. High caliber rounds, rangefinder, cascade, as well as rifled barrel. This thing is an incredible shotgun. It's just an absolute beast. We've got another Matador here with full auto. This was my PvE version back in the day. Rifled barrel as well, army of one, quick draw, fitted stock. And I never really used it in PvP, but it was quite damn good in PvE, and that was what my other Matador was for anyways. I never really needed that one. Now, next up weapon I want to show you guys is the Found Verdict. Now, this was an incredible gun back in the day. Anyone in Year 1 that had this was just, oh man, this back in the day was unstoppable. Full auto. We've got Send It, and we have Final Round, all on the same shotgun. And I believe this was from the Vault and Blast raid. You can still get it to this day. You just have to go back and play that raid. It's just not really worth it anymore. But back in the day, that thing was brutal, man. Everybody ran around with that thing, and it was just unstoppable. Now we do have my third Covalance's Duty here with Life Support, Armor Piercing Rounds, and Third Eye. Now this is kind of like my little Minor Multitool version, although it's nowhere near as good. It's just another one of those Covalance's Duties that I got, and I didn't really feel right just deleting it, so I just threw it in my vault, which should never be used again. Now next up we've got the Stolen Pride from the Year 2 Prison of Elders with Explosive Rounds, Hidden Hand, and Zen Moment, but unfortunately they can't be used all at the same time, but it's still pretty cool. I had to keep it around just to say I have it, and collect all those Prison of Elders weapons as well. Now we've got Scori's Revenge, Timlar's Lash, and the Efforted Spear, all three of these from the Iron Banner, as well as the Galleon's Demise. Now all four of these weapons I'm sure will be making its return sometime in the Rise of Iron, or I'm sure at least you'll be seeing these Iron Lords pretty soon. You know, we've got Galleon, Effordy, Timlar's, and Scori's. I'm sure we'll be seeing all of these people pretty soon in that Rise of Iron DLC. We might not see the exact same guns or the exact same rolls on here, but I'm sure we will be seeing these people quite soon, and who knows, maybe these weapons will make their return with a Year 3 version. Now, the Timlar's Lash, I really do hope comes back. This thing is ridiculous. Even with the perks on it aren't that great. The great thing about it is the fact that I can still go back and reforge all of these at any moment, and change all the rolls up if I ever want to. So finally, we've got the last page of my vault. Now, we've got a Panty Ray in here that I do like to use on occasion. We've got knee pads, rifle barrel, and rangefinder on there, as well as the accelerated battery, so that's pretty damn good to use sometimes. We've got one of my Doctrines of Passings with Persistence, Counterbalance, and Brace Frame. I've only used that about 2 or 3 times, and let's be honest, I could probably scrap that right now and honestly not even care about it. We've got one of these snipers that I just kind of threw in my vault because it has one of my favorite scopes on it, and I was planning on testing it out one day. But now with the sniper nerfs, who knows, I may not ever get around to doing that because it just might not really be worth it all that much now. And we do have Chaperone, of course. We've got Her Revenge with Luck in the Chamber, which is pretty cool. We've got a Longbow Synthesis with Mulligan and really crappy rolls. I'm probably just going to delete this thing. If you guys have been with the channel for a little bit, you actually saw me scrap down one of my other longbows because of one of the wagers that I lost. Now we do have a Waylorn's March in here. This is my favorite one to use because of that sight, UTAC SLH-20. Small Bore, Underdog, and Hidden Hand. That is definitely my favorite version of that weapon. We also have Thorn, of course. You couldn't play Year 1 without getting Thorn. That thing is just too damn good, and it will be making its return really soon with the Rise of Iron. We've got Vex Mythoclast. We've got this Subtle Nudge. Now, this is one of those snipers I was talking about before. One of the only snipers I ever used back in the day. Lightweight, speed reload, performance bonus, mulligan. The rolls aren't really all that great, but this was one of the snipers I actually learned to snipe with back in the day, and I'm pretty grateful for getting that thing. Now, we also have Low Grade Humility, which was another one of those snipers, the only ones I ever used to use, with mulligan, quick draw, and performance bonus as well. This is the only snipers I had for year 1 back in the day, and that's just all I had to work with for all of year 1, and that's basically what I learned to snipe with. Now we've got the Stolen Will, which is a year 2 shotgun. You couldn't play without getting that. I had to collect that. And of course we have the Felwinter's Lie. Now the only thing that's a lie about this thing is the fact that it's not actually a shotgun, it's a sniper rifle. It's called the Felwinter's Sniper. We've got Cascade, Quick Draw, Surrounded, and a bunch of perks on here as well with injection mold. Anyone in year 1 can attest to this. This thing is not a shotgun, it's a sniper. So that's everything I have in my vault, but I do want to swap over to my other 2 characters because there are actually a bunch of guns on my characters that I couldn't store just because my vault is so full. So we're going to start out with my Hunter here really quick. We've got the Ill Will. Now this thing I was just using, this is probably the best hand cannon in my vault right now, besides the Last Word, with Luck in the Chamber, high caliber rounds, Zen Moment, and Brace Frame. Now look at the impact on this thing. This is a 2-shot kill if you get the Luck in the Chamber round, and I believe you can still get a 1-shot kill with it if you have Weapons of Light in your bubble. And of course you can reforge it at any time, although I never will because the rolls are just too perfect on it. And we also have one of my many IS Lunas here. We've got one with Sureshot IS, Last Resort, Explosive Rounds, High Caliber Rounds, Hand Loaded, and Luck in the Chamber. That's my favorite one that I have right now. Now we've got another IS Luna here, which I believe is considered to be a God Roll, with Rangefinder, Rifled Barrel, and Hidden Hand, although I don't prefer it over this IS Luna for some reason. I still like this one better. Although the rolls might be slightly worse, I just seem to do better with this one all the time because of Luck in the Chamber, and it definitely helps me out. Now we also have another longbow here that I just got just a few days ago and had to level it up all the way with Unflinching, Injection Mold, Triple Tap, Perfect Balance. Now the scopes on it aren't the best, but it's still pretty damn good, and hopefully it's still good now that they nerfed most of these snipers. I haven't even tested it out or sniped really all that much at all since that update, but I will be making a video on that quite soon. Now, of course we do have the Galley, the one-way ticket, which is a year 1 rocket launcher with pretty damn good rolls on it. We got tripod and heavy payload. It's pretty cool. It was back in the day at least, but I haven't really used this thing since year 1. We've also got another year 1 rocket launcher in here, the Ash Factory, which I believe made its return in the Rise of Iron. We do have tracking, perfect balance, which I never really understood on a rocket launcher that has 1 bullet magazine. Didn't really make much sense to me. We do have max blast radius on there, and I don't know, it used to get the job done back in the day, but it only has 1 bullet in the clip. But who knows? I mean, heavy is getting used less and less every day, and there's really no point in even having heavy at all. So we're now on my Titan because, again, I just can't fit all of my weapons in my vault because it's just too filled up. Now we've got the Inward Lamp Adept on here, another Doctrine of Passing with Persistence and Counterbalance. Pretty much the exact same rolls you saw on the other one. I really do need to scrap one of those down, but I just can't bring it to myself to do it. Get another Lord High Fixer here. A Gunsmith weapon I just picked up and was testing out, but it didn't turn out to be all that great. Now we've got the Glass Promontory, the Conspiracy Theory from the Quest, which is insane nowadays. We've got another Party Crasher in here that actually has Luck in the Chamber, close and or personal. I don't even think this is a perk anymore, but this perk is incredible on a shotgun, especially with one that has Luck in the Chamber. And of course, you can't have a shotgun without Reinforced Barrel. We also have Predator's Revenge, which is a year 1 sniper rifle back from the Vaulted Class raid. This thing used to be good back in the day as well, although I never really used it all that often. And we also have another Conspiracy Theory here with full auto, which, oh man, I need to test this thing out now after this buff. I really need to get around to doing that. And we also have Yolder's Hammer, another year 1 Iron Banner weapon. I'm sure this will be coming back in year 3. This is, oh man, this is my favorite LMG back in the day, and I was so hyped when I got it. Oh man. I've got the BT-RD-345. This was another one of those LMGs back in the day that was just incredible. Armor-piercing rounds. We've got Grenadier, single-point sling, injection mold. This thing was incredible. It just ripped through enemies, almost even more than the Yolder's Hammer did. I've got Hunger of Crota. This is from the Crota's End raid, which just looks pretty awesome, and the perks on it are pretty cool as well, although it's not really, doesn't keep up with any rocket launchers nowadays. Now we have the Hens Iam Vengeance. Now this thing is insane because it actually has tripod on it, as well as heavy payload. It's almost max blast radius, and it has 3 bullets in the magazine. So this thing is quite the force to be reckoned with, but it's only year 1, so you can't really use it in many situations now. We've got Tomorrow's Answer, which is the year 1 Trials of Osiris rocket launcher. Now for the weapons we have in my Warlock, we've got another Reflection Summon here. We've got the Messenger Adept with Void Burn, Another Covalance's Duty, which I still haven't even gotten around to leveling up or testing out, but this was one of the best rolls I've gotten. Crowd control, perfect balance, hidden hand, and embrace frame, as well as that custom optics. I definitely need to try that out sometime soon. And we also have a third Eyes Luna in here with Hot Swap, Luck in the Chamber, Reinforced Barrel, and Rifled Barrel. I just got this not too long ago, that's why it's not leveled up. I haven't even tested it out yet, but I definitely want to try to do that pretty soon. We've got the Word of Crota in here as well, but it's Timepiece, which both from the raids, but this one's from the Crota's End raid, and this one from the Multiple Blast. Both great weapons, although I never really got around to testing these out, did I? Yeah, no, I really never did. It's quite sad. We've got another Jewel of Osiris in here as well, with another burn on it. Now we also have another Party Crasher in here, Year 2. Not really anything too crazy here, although we do have one of my favorite snipers in the game, the Irene, with Luck in the Chamber and Unflinching. That thing is ridiculous. Even with the sniper nerf, that thing is pretty damn good. Now we've got Sleeper Simulant, Veteran's Stand, another Timerid, Unseeing Eye, we've got Void Edge, Truth. Nothing really too crazy in here. So hopefully you guys did enjoy looking at all of my weapons and a quick glimpse into the past of Destiny over the 2 years that we've been playing. If you did, be sure to drop that like down below and subscribe if you're not already for future videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.